So we're fortunate to have here at the Hamptons International Film Festival, 25th year, the silver anniversary.
Nice.
You a mere youngsters.
Special year, right?
I
was a toddler.
Toddler.
Yeah.
And I was like probably, I don't know, in the army. But anyway, Coodie and Chike,
Yep.
the two unusual names, of which I tell you, since they're not copyrighted, my brother and I are going to use them. We're going to get rid of Greg and Ernie. We're going to be Coodie and Chike.
Greg and Ernie's dope too, though.
No,
I like that.
it only can go so far, you know. World premiere documentary USA, 88 minutes, the first to do it. And we always thought about, you know, Jackie Robinson was the first, and, you know, President Obama was the first, and James Brown was the first. Hardest working man in show business, I might add. But you guys did this movie, and it's really a story, inspirational story that had to be told. And how did you get into this? First of all, are you friends, lifelong friends, and filmmakers for, you know, a long time that you kind of got into this, or basketball players, or?
Well, I'm born and raised in Chicago, and I just fell in love with film, like shooting. So I had a camera, and I started shooting this artist Kanye West, and you know, I said I'm gonna do a Hoop Dreams on Kanye, and come to find out he wound up moving to New York, and then I moved to New York, and then they wanted to do it You Hear It First on MTV, and when I went there to help produce that, they was like, we want you to meet all the cool people at MTV. They brought me down to Chike.
Yeah, and you know, we had been doing a lot of music videos at first, but then we ended up doing, and this is mainly from him being from Chicago, we did a 30 for 30 called Benji, about a basketball player out of Chicago, 1984, that was shot and killed before his first game, going into his senior year in high school. And so off of the backs of that film, we started having a lot of people coming to us, especially sports films related. We ended up doing a Muhammad Ali doc after that we won an NAACP Image Award for.
Wow.
But during that interim between the Benji and the Ali film, that's when this film came to us, and he can really tell you because he got the first call about this project.
My friend Donnie Kursky out of Chicago, who is like best friends with Juwan Howard, ran into Coach Poore at West Virginia State. And Coach Poore came up to him and said, you know, the first person to play in the NBA. And he like, dang, I don't know that. Who is it? He was like, Earl Lloyd, and he's alive. So right away, and he's alive. So right away, they called me. And they asked me the question. I'm like, I don't know who. They told me. I'm like, oh, I called Chike. Who the first? He didn't know. So, you know, it was destined to tell this man's story, you know.
Did he reveal what his pay was at that time?
Actually, it's in the story, too. We say it wasn't that much, but it felt like a lot to him at the time, actually.
Right.
Then, you know, so much where...
With the, you know, the Nike contract.
Those didn't exist. No, those didn't exist.
Coca-Cola and those things.
Yeah, no, those didn't exist. Those didn't exist.
I think Converse, though. I think they did wear Converse.
Right, but they might just really been wearing Converse probably. They was probably paying for their Converse.
Right.
And the original uniforms in basketball were horrible with those, you know, those shorts.
Tight shorts.
Not exactly the most attractive.
Daisy Dukes.
Daisy Dukes. It's unbelievable. But that's amazing. But, you know, and it's something that really should be asked. Like, who's the first?
Absolutely, especially when you paved the way for so many people to have an opportunity to have, you know, luxurious careers. I think that when you're a part of that, just like within hip hop or with anything that you're the first of, when you open the doors up for other people to be able to participate in, you should always be the first person that comes out of their mouth as far as paying some homage to. You know?
I know a lot about being a pioneer, and there's a definition of a pioneer. You know what a pioneer is?
Yeah.
He's a guy that has all those arrows on his back. The first guy to go into territory, they just haul off and they just ice you. And it's not a pleasant thing, but he actually broke the way, like Jackie Robinson broke the way for you know, everybody else to follow and held the door open. You know? There are other people that climb the ladder of success and they pull it up after themselves.
Right.
But this guy didn't. He didn't do it for the glory or for the money.
Absolutely.
He just did it for the sport, which is admirable. Today, is he bitter? Is he satisfied with his life today? Or
you know, with the moments that we got to interact with him when we were shooting the film, you got the sense of he was very content. You know, he's a very humble guy. I think he cherishes the little things, family, you know, he was able to see change, and then he was able to see there being not so much change. So, you know, I think what might have affected him more was seeing the lack of progress that we see today. I know that affected him.
Sure.
But I think also seeing Obama was amazing as well.
Absolutely.
So he kind of was a two-sided, double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
I know one thing that he said that segregation served him well, because he said we lost a part of our community when that happened. It just wasn't done the right way. His wife Charlotte, she says it better. She said, she says, we did it, but it just wasn't done
properly. Like,
right.
She says it very eloquently, better than
better
I can
than
actually
right,
say it.
exactly.
But
well,
you'll see it in the movie.
Well, it's true, because, you know, going through that point in history, it was, you know, we had a movie quite a few years ago, and it was about World War II, and it was a black detail of Army people that were in combat, and they actually fought in Germany, and now they come back and they're on the trains, and they come back to their hometown down south, and the German POWs had it better than they did coming back to their own town.
it's crazy.
They had they wanted coffee or something. They had to go around in the back of the shop, and they just fought
Right,
with freedom.
right.
And the people that the Nazis, the prisoners of war, were
Better
being
treatment.
treated like kings. They were eating pancakes and having everything. And these guys couldn't have anything. But it was typical of the fact of how the nation, you know, where you know, you love the country, you love the nation, and you want to do your best for your own pride, your family, and it's not. There's no reciprocation.
Not reciprocated.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
absolutely.
But the key is not to be defeated because of that.
Exactly.
Because the moment you give in to that, you're just like they are.
And it's like people want to see you bitter. They want that becomes that's what they want from you. And if you don't give them that, you know, then people really focus on the real issue.
Then they win.
Yeah,
They win.
exactly.
In a stadium filled with white fans, coaches, players, and announcers, they called this black man's name. With jazz in his stride, he broke through the color lines, broke through the cage of segregation. He stood in the eye of racism storm and took on the hate that he was facing. 1950, the turn of the century, a decade after the Great Depression, and this first step echoed throughout the world. The nation. Outside the arena, strange fruit would hang from trees. At certain times you could smell death that was carried by the breeze. You were either living Jim Crow's nightmare or the great American dream. But through marches and sit-ins, equality was slowly being found in the streets and the Supreme Court. In the meantime, Earl played on despite being refused by hotels, restaurants, and other teams when they visited those sundown towns. His battle was fought on the court. Guided by strength and will, loved by many, his strength you could feel. That's why he was first. The NBA's first black player, the first black champ. He was first, before Bill Russell, before Wilt Chamberlain, before Oscar Robertson, Dr. J, before Kareem the Magic, before Jordan, before Kobe, before LeBron, before Durant and Rose amazed millions with moves that they practice and rehearse. Chuck Cooper, Sweetwater Clifton, and Earl Lloyd were the first to be chosen. They paved the way for future hoop dreams to become a reality. Their first steps became golden.